Hello again, Gundam Converge fans. We got a couple loose Crossbone X-0s, or X-0s. And I'm just looking here at the Gundam fandom here. It says the Crossbone Gundam X-0 is known as the Ghost Crossbone because it was sitting around dormant for 20 years, floating around in space. And then it was found by a blind person, Curtis Rothko, who was able to pilot this thing because the Ghost Crossbone apparently has some sort of better sound sonar kind of system that allowed this blind person to pilot it successfully. That's basically what that website is saying, and I have no reason to doubt it. This robot was only featured in a printed manga, so those are the images back there. So this particular figure is number 239 in the Gundam Converge series. This came in Wave Pound 20. So if you want to track this exact figure down. Alright, so that thing is just a blade protector. So if it's from the Pound series, then it comes with a square base, which makes a lot more sense than the original ones, and so that just pegs in here, and it'll work later. And I like to label these things as well, because I don't know much about Gundams. Let's take a look at this one, though. It's got a nice silver... it's actually borderline gunmetal. It's a dark silver. But it's nice. And then so starting with the feet, we have this contrasting kind of like a maroon color. So typical Converge details, you know, all these little panel lines and stuff. It's got some funky like kicked up ankle guards, interesting. And then we got some thruster details painted yellow, looking good. A little bit of black painted here on the kneecaps. The legs do not move. Most Converge figures don't have moving legs. But the arms usually do pivot the shoulders. We'll take those off for now so we can see what's behind them. It's a hexagonal hole. Some armor plates here on the thigh. And then we have the skull and crossbones on the, I guess, torso. It looks like it's a separate piece, but I think it probably is glued in place. Doesn't seem to want to come off. I don't know if this is where the cockpit is on this figure. I actually built like a high-grade model of a crossbone. I don't know which one it was. It wasn't an XO, I don't think, because it was white instead of silver. It was a decent enough figure. Anyways, this maroon is carrying a cross here in the chest. Some sort of panel details there. And then we have a hexagonal hole for the head as well. Let's look into this arm here. So, looks like the hands are separate pieces as well. This one's, falling out, but you can rotate it, get a little tiny bit of articulation. It's like a armor plate here on the forearm. Looks pretty cool. Nice recesses there. And then we have that maroon carrying across to these like wrist rings. Alright, this side here. So yeah, we have a separate hand again, but this time it's meant to hold the weapon with this round hole. So pop that in. And let's see, we got this jet thruster thing, I'm thinking. I mean, they look like thrusters. And these are definitely a gunmetal. Much darker than, the body here. And then the front of them, they have kind of like shields and some venting details. It's a bit warped. If you get a PVC figure that's warped like this, you can just either use a hair dryer or dip it in hot water and then just hold it in place. It cools off. It'll hold the form that you kept it in. So there's a really big slot hole here for this guy, so hopefully it won't just fall out too easily. So that's good. And now going to the head, let's see. Try to get some light here. Oh, good. It looks like there's some clear eyes here, but they're just, the overhang of the helmet makes it really hard to see. But yeah, nice. There's green. They're so thin, I don't think there's any like molded details behind them, but I think this whole head might be, well, the center part of the head might be that green plastic, and they painted the rest. But I do feel that this is a separate piece right here. There's actually an air passing through there, so the maroon is carrying across here. And then what else do we have? Some vent details. Nothing written there. A lot of times they actually write, the frame number, like the XO, but I don't see it here. I didn't see it anywhere on this body, so that's interesting. Looks like there are some horns here, or antennae. And so this one's cool too because it has these skull and crossbones on it, and then white tips to the antennae. So this I'll probably have to glue in place later on. It goes into this little hole. Let's see. For now, it'll hold for the video. So we got double head, skull, and crossbones. Sorry, I'm losing my ability to speak English. All right, going to the handle here for this like funky like V saber thing. So the handle has rectangular holes for these rectangular slots. It's a nice translucent pink. Don't know if there's a direction to it. I don't think there was, but yeah, that's pretty funky. It's an interesting weapon, that's for sure. I don't know if they split apart. Maybe they split apart in the manga. Please leave a comment if you know. I'm not going to read this manga ever. All right. It's very intimidating, that sword. It's almost as long as the whole character. Very neat. I like it. So, and then again, these guys all stand without the stands. But if you're going to move stuff around a lot, or in my case, I'm going to actually put a label on here explaining what it is so I can remember next time. It's good to have the stand. Alright, let's look at this one, next one, because it's got the packaging. I was reading Gundam. He's a great resource for all Converge figures, and this is from 2013, I believe. Yep, and it's from a Ace magazine. I don't know what Ace magazine is, if it's some sort of hobby magazine or a Gundam specific magazine. But this is some sort of promo that came with it. I'm guessing August 8th as well. It's made of PVC and ABS, and it's the old style, so it's got the bad stand. That'll just end up in the garbage. Alright. Alright. Nothing in here. Alright. So, I'm gonna get those scissors again. What's gonna make this one different is it comes with the crossbow. But I'm sure there might be other differences as well. Let's find out. I say this in all my Converge videos. These original series, they always came with these dumb foot stands that block most of the foot. So. But again, they stand without them, so I just throw those stands away. Alright, let's see. It's a much shinier. Yeah, I feel like this is a shinier silver. You'll have to decide what you see there. And it actually is a completely different mold, even though they're both X-0 crossbones. So, interesting. Yeah, so they must have updated this mold to this later on. And then you can also see the visor here is much bigger. You know, the optics, I mean the eyes of this thing. The actual skull thing here, it has like silver eyes on it, whereas this one, you know, it's just all white. So it's quite interesting. A lot of differences, so I'm glad because I don't want to have duplicates. Starting at the bottom, no peg hole of course because I had the silly stand, and actually less detail. Maybe the mold was worn out, legs don't move again. But we got this yellow for the thrusters. The yellow for the thrusters, these funky weird ankle things, standard greebly details, vents, panel lines, all that stuff. It looks like this torso is a gunmetal. It's different from the silver of the rest of the body. It doesn't come apart or anything. And then this is a darker maroon on this particular figure. But yeah, this skull is interesting. How does these gunmetal eyes on it? Some sort of, I don't know, maybe cannons or something there, and the shoulders. Obviously the hand here at least is separate, but this one is not. This one is just molded in and painted a different color. This has been sitting around since 2013, so it's labeled left and right, the arms, and it's just rounded round, an interface, no hex holes or anything. Let's try to get this head off. So this is round and round of an interface, or maybe that was a hex, but not much anymore. The neck here is actually a matte gray, or matte black. It's a dark gray. Alright, so yeah, this one much better to look at because the eyes are bigger. And I think, you know, I'm seeing some sort of details behind that green. There's some sort of panel lines, so that's neat. Let me really spruce it up with the flashlight here. Just one woman. Yeah, that's cool. A lot of funky like lines behind that thing. Alright, I guess so. Now the peg system is reversed. The peg is actually on the head, and then the hole is on the antenna piece. So let me pop this on. And then just a regular skull and crossbones, no weird eyes. Big holes though. Yeah, some sort of maybe gun details or something. Kind of a plain back end. Now see, this one actually does have, is this printing? Hold on. I don't know if that's supposed to be, it looks like X instead of XO. I don't know. I don't know if that's supposed to be the printing of the chassis or not. Okay. Yeah, this one just seems to have tighter details or something, or more details molded into it than the first one that we saw. Yeah, so that's interesting. Okay, so now we got the jetpack. It's totally different. It's not as like long and svelte. It's kind of like chunkier. It's just all silver. There's no additional color on the thrusters or anything like that. The other one did have a different paint app going on. But this must peg in here. It has an L shape, so it's idiot proof. Well, frankly, this is a totally symmetric design pretty much. Alright, so that's horizontal, but I kind of feel like it would have been better if it was a round peg so you can twist it. Yeah, I don't know, give it some playability. Okay, so that's that. Now we have the hand molded onto the gun itself. Well, I'm sorry, this is it looks like a gun now, but it's going to become a crossbow of some sort. So these silver pieces here are the bow, and they have like 4 cartridges on each of them. So I think it's supposed to go this way. Well, I mean, that went in there, but where does this... Oh, I see. So the first part... Sorry, I wasn't looking at the screen. The first part, the silver, actually goes all the way through the black, and it pegs into the other side. I was wondering how that was going to work. But now we know. So... Okay, well... Not falling apart. You might want to glue it together though if you're really worried about it. But nice little lines and details on this thing even. So I don't know how this gun would operate. I don't know if these are cartridges that feed into it and then shoot out. That's my impression. But how does it know which side goes in first? And then what happens to the cartridge? Where does it eject? Well, it is a fantasy world after all. Gundam. It can do whatever it wants in this futuristic world. And I just twist this thing up. It's pretty plain back there. And peg this guy in. Oh, but see, the stock is like colliding with the arm a little bit. Well, I guess that's okay. It's actually very loose now. I might have to put some poster putty in there. Alrighty. Let me get the spin thing out. Okay, so the only other crossbone I have is a Crossbone Gundam X-2, and it's got like a jousting kind of weapon, and it's obviously a totally different color scheme. So I do have I'm gonna have to get a white one sooner or later. I think the white crossbone might be called the X1. Leave a comment if you can. But there we go. Some similarities. It looks like these two are sharing the same like jetpack in the back. And actually they might actually be the same bodies. It's just a totally different color scheme. But if you look at the actual mold, I do feel like maybe these two are the same. At least the arms. No, I'm sorry. I'm looking at these two. So actually there are some differences. Because this one has a totally different jetpack than all of them, but the arms look like they're shared between these two. And but the antennae are different as well. So yeah, a lot of variances in the Gundam universe, and Bandai Converge has done a good job of simulating them. Okay guys, well, let's let these guys spin on their own. I've started to, put my figures on these little acrylic things I bought off AliExpress, and I'm going to label this later on. I haven't had a chance to do that. But these two guys today, very cool. I like the Crossbone chassis. I'm actually quite surprised that this chassis hasn't been featured in an actual cartoon. But maybe it has and I just don't know, or maybe it has and no one's updated the Gundam fandom. But it's such a cool robot, I think. I know they have someone with like a full-on cape, and yeah, kind of like this image back here. It's like a cloaking cape. Alright, I'll see you guys in the next Converge video. Thanks for tuning in.